Starting.
Okay, and the meeting is recording.
Okay, well, good evening, everyone. This is Peter Casarella. Today is Monday, the 14th, and this is the meeting of the Douglas Library of Hebron Trustees. I welcome everyone. Thank you all for being here, and I hope everyone is well.
I'm going to share the screen so you can see the agenda. There you are.
Okay, good. Thank you. Can we take a roll call, please? So besides me, who else is here, please?
Let's see. It looks like who else is here? We have Beth Schmeisel, M.A. Foote, Gail Richmond, Dale Bland, and Donna Lanza, and Marion Spalding is taking our notes.
Okay, good. Welcome. So the first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. So if everyone will repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and
and
to
to the republic
for
for
which
which it
stands
stands, one nation,
nation
under God,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and
liberty,
justice
justice
for all.
for all.
Okay, is there any public out there in the audience that has a desire to speak? No one? Okay, we'll move on. Reports, we have the secretary's reports, the minutes from last month's meeting. I trust everyone's had an opportunity to review them. Are there any comments? Corrections, additions, deletions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
I so move.
So a motion by Dale. Do we have a second? Is that M.A.?
Yes.
Okay, so motion by Dale Bland, second by M.A. Foote.
Okay, any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none?
I can do a roll call for you, Peter.
Okay, thanks, Kevin.
Dale,
Aye.
Gail,
Yeah, aye.
M.A.,
Yes.
Beth,
Yes.
and Peter.
Yes. So the ayes have it. Thank you. Financial report. Anyone have any questions of Kevin regarding the financial report? No questions? Awful lot of detail there. That's good stuff, Kevin.
Good, good. Yeah, it's nothing, it's similar as we were last month. We're doing pretty well on all of our accounts right now.
Okay, let's move on to the director's report then.
Okay. So on November 16th, the library building was once again closed to the public due to a local outbreak of COVID-19. Across the state, many other libraries are following suit. As of December 9th, 33% of the public libraries in the state have either reclosed or never opened since they closed in the spring. This includes the surrounding towns of Bolton, Glastonbury, Marlborough, Andover, Columbia, and Lebanon. East Hampton, Colchester, and Portland remain open for the time being. Last I checked was on last Thursday. And I don't have an indication of when the town will decide to reopen the building. Thankfully, the staff is still able to work in the building. We're chipping away at curbside pickup requests, shifting materials around the library, making takeaway craft kits, and doing training and working on some other long-term projects while we're here. Curbside pickup has moved into the lobby from outside the building. It'll remain there at least through the winter. The weather was getting too iffy. It just makes more sense to keep it inside. Takeaway craft kits are being distributed alongside checked out materials, and they're quite popular. We've melted crayon ornament kits right now for teens and adults, and a series of story time like activities for children. And we've distributed about 300 activity kits in the past few weeks. Most of those are children, but there's been a lot of interest in the adult teen kits as well. So we are looking to keep that service going in the next few months. We've got a couple of crafts for the older audience that Claire and myself are putting together, and Sherry has some packets that the staff upstairs is working on putting together to make sure that there are kids kits going forward too. We've had a few successful Zoom programs, each attracting 10 to 20 participants, which is a big improvement over what we were seeing in the summer. The next scheduled event is called Connecticut and the Pandemic of 1918, and that's happening on January 15th. It's, of course, a virtual program. I'm going to skip over the building updates for now and just go into other notes. Full-time staff have been using Bibliomation's new Evergreen web client since before Thanksgiving for all circulation and cataloging activities, and we're pretty comfortable with it at this point. We've begun introducing the new system to the rest of the staff, and we're aiming to switch over completely in the first week of January. There's always a little bit of trepidation when the technology changes around here, but the staff reaction has been positive so far. So that's good. I met with Andy Tierney and Donna Lanza to discuss the library's CIP requests last week. We didn't discuss the proposed expense budget. The TMO has not made a formal request from the department heads regarding the 21-22 expense budgets, but it'll likely be a request for a continuation budget. We qualified for free access to Canva, a web-based tool to create marketing materials. We're hopeful that it'll prove to be useful in creating posters, handouts, and social media images in the future. And since it's a cloud storage-based program, it will be nice for the desk staff as they're working on items. They can kind of move from computer to computer without having to transfer stuff around in a thumb drive, which is how they're working right now. The state library hired a new state librarian after a year-plus long search. Her name is Deborah Shander, and her background is in law librarianship. She officially starts on January 4th. And then some of the continuing education that I've done over the past month. I attended 2 programs at the ACLB conference, Advocacy and Budgets in the time of COVID-19. And the future is shared, 3 possible scenarios for 2030. And then I also attended from the Connecticut Library Association, Advancing the Conversation, a program on equity, diversity, and inclusion in Connecticut libraries. Yeah, found all 3 of those to be of use. So it was good to attend. Any questions on anything in the report?
Kevin, did you say 1/3 of the libraries in Connecticut did not open up?
No, right now, 1/3 of the libraries in the state, their buildings are closed to the public. So what I meant by that was that those are either buildings that reopened and then closed again, but it could also include buildings that just never reopened. I know there are a handful of buildings out there that never reopened since they closed in the spring.
So in theory, are we part of that 1/3 since the building is not opened, even though we do have curbside pickup services?
Yes, we're part of that 1/3, and this is where the majority, of that 1/3 is. The building is closed, but they're providing curbside pickup services. I don't know of any libraries that aren't providing any sort of services at all being closed. I'm sure there are some smaller ones, but they're all doing at least curbside pickup as far as I know.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of Kevin? Okay, we'll move on. Friends of the library, of the Douglas Library, I'm not sure our friends are with us this evening.
No, Pam isn't here tonight, so we don't have a representative. Their book sale was canceled in November. That was the Saturday after the town elected to close all the buildings. So we did have to cancel the book sale in November, which was a tough thing to do, but they understood. So there's no rescheduling of that right now because the building is closed. That includes being closed to volunteers. They're doing some work. I know Tim and Maureen are emptying the bin periodically, and they're sorting some things at their home. I'm working with them now to get some of those items brought over and stored here so they don't have to store them in their house. So we'll get those into the community room when I can coordinate a time with them.
Okay, town manager's representative. Donna, anything to share with us?
Hi, good evening. Just to follow up on Kevin's reporting the library closed as well as the town office building and the Horton House, we've closed to the public, and we are open by appointment only and conducting most of our business electronically, online, or through the mail. And we're able to provide pretty much all services that people need. The only thing we're not doing is providing notary service. We are, we're responding and working on and preparing for COVID, PPE as always. We're working on CIP and getting ready for the budget. And just a reminder that the new ordinance, the library amendment ordinance is going into effect. And so we have one vacancy that we should be looking to fill on the board. And that is all I have for now.
Any
Thank you.
questions? Any questions of Donna? Okay, thank you very much, Donna.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Gail, Board of Selectmen, anything going on that we need to know?
Well, I think something that might be of interest to everyone is that there is going to be a racial diversity committee here in town made up of a couple of selectmen and 5 citizens at large to make sure that Hebron remains an open space, a welcoming space for all people, regardless of their backgrounds. To switch over to the Library Board of Trustees, I've been in contact with 2 people, and I am hoping that I can get them to attend, even as an observer, the January meeting.
You mean with the potential of becoming members?
Right. A lot of people say, well, I don't know. So I couldn't talk anyone into coming tonight because they're very busy with the holiday coming up that nobody's going to be able to enjoy as a traditional holiday that they had in the past. But yes, because we do have a vacancy and we could end up with another vacancy. So cross your fingers, folks.
Well, that's good work. Thank you.
Mhm.
Any questions of Gail? Okay, I'll bring you up to date on a few things that have been going on regarding the building. On the evening of the 3rd, at the Selectmen's meeting, Andy and Donna were there and very, very supportive. Andy made the recommendation that the selectmen accept the town building committee's recommendation, which was to hire a private firm to come in and figure out what's going on with the roof in terms of the buckling, how to correct it so that it doesn't happen in the future. Fortunately for us, for the library, the selectmen agreed with Andy and the building committee's recommendations, and that will occur. Apparently what's going on, or what they think is going on, is that in the addition, there were no soffits in the roof, which of course deterred any air movement. And also that the section of roof that abutted the original building was sealed up with sheetrock, which they thought at the time might have been a fire code and needed to be done. But by doing that, again, no ventilation in that area. So there's going to be, so that was a successful evening for us with the support from Town Hall and the selectmen. There's a building committee meeting Monday, the 21st, which I'm not going to be able to attend because of an EDC meeting, but basically the building committee now is starting to go over the crossing the Ts and dotting the Is and getting ready to go out with either an RFP or an RFQ. I'm not sure what they're going out with yet. Maybe Donna or Gail knows, so that the town figures out what consulting firm to hire to do the analysis so we can get the answers regarding the roof. Ladies, correct me if I'm wrong, please, or Kevin, correct me if I'm wrong in anything I said, but I think that pretty well sums up the support that we've got and everything, still slowly, but still moving forward.
Yeah, that was a good summation, Peter. I don't have anything to add.
Okay, if no one has any questions, we'll move on to building updates. Kevin, why don't you give us an update, please, on where we stand with the various things, the numerous projects we've got going on.
Sure. So in your packet, you have the letter that the building committee had sent to town hall. So it does kind of describe a little bit of what Peter had spoken about before. Then the page after that, you have the spreadsheet with all of the various building projects that are underway. As normal, the yellow highlighted areas are where there have been changes. So I've updated the work ends in the window project because I have not been able to get a hold of the contractor to find out what the status is on those windows coming in and being installed. So I'm assuming it's going to happen next month at this point. Once they do arrive, they usually are a fairly quick installation. But since I don't know when they're going to be in, I've just pushed it back a month. The roof, I just added a line about the town is seeking an inspection and report on the roof from an outside consulting firm. For the HVAC system, all the components have been installed for the HVAC system. So mechanically everything's in place, but the building still needs to be, the system needs to be fine-tuned to the building. So they've got to have somebody come in and do that. And I think I'm also going to get some access to the controls because I don't have those at the moment. So mechanically, the job is done. The roof on the ceiling in the children's floor was replaced, and the shelving has been put back where it was. So that looks nice. It looks like a floor people could visit again if the building were to be open. So we're just waiting for that last piece, and then we can move that one to the completed pile. And the carpeting started last month, I think right after our last meeting. The first floor is largely completed. So the community room is done. And then carpeting has been changed out in all the study rooms, in the staff break room, in the board room, and in the hallway kind of leading up to where the Friends area is. It does stop at the Friends area. They only had a certain amount of staff time that they could put us in that quickly to start the installation. So the plan was to come in again middle of this month to do more work, but it's actually going to end up being early January now. So their plan is to continue working on the first floor and then go right up to the second and third floor starting the first week of January. So I've updated January 21, get all 3 floors done then. And then I noticed a mistake on the spreadsheet here. I have lighting replacement. I accidentally updated that to January 2021. I just a sloppy copy and paste there, but there's no change on that project. That part of the project appears to be completed. I just didn't want to move it down to the completed section until kind of all of ESC's work was done because it was all kind of happening as one large project. And that's it for building project news. Yes, slowly and surely everything is starting to get checked off here. So the HVAC's a big one. The carpeting will be a big one. Yeah, and the windows and the roof. So I'm getting there slowly.
Any questions of Kevin? Kevin, correct me if I'm wrong, but when it comes to the HVAC system, the tweaking of the system to get it to do what it's designed to do when we were told it was going to do is still the responsibility of the contractor. And they will be coming out at some point in time, maybe coming out a number of times, I don't know, to make sure everything is running the way it's supposed to and what they told us they were going to do. Is that an accurate statement?
Yes, the job isn't done until they complete that portion of it. I think they need to work with S&E building systems as far as like getting the system exactly where it needs to be, but it's the responsibility of the contractors to get it in full working order before the job is completed.
Good, thank you. Nothing on the building updates for Kevin? No questions from the board? Okay, poet laureate, we had tabled. So Mary Ann, anything you need to bring us up to date on, or can we keep that tabled?
We'll just leave it as is.
Okay, thank you. Fiscal year 21-22 budgets. Kevin, why don't we take them individually, one capital and one expense? You might as well start with the capital.
Oh, there's no new change on the budget, so actually I don't have anything new for you in the packets, unless you want to discuss what you had approved last meeting.
Well, I want to make sure that individually for the capital budget, our submissions have been made in accordance with whatever the direction was or is from the town, and there's nothing outstanding for us in that respect for the capital budget.
Okay, yes. So the two capital items were submitted to the town manager's office before their deadline last month. Donna had me make a quick tweak on one of the forms today. I checked a wrong box, but they have those, and they also have the capital outlay requests as well, which were the painting projects, not for this year, but starting next year and going forward. So those have been submitted to the town manager's office, and we met and discussed them. They seemed on the capital projects. They seemed that it was something they were expecting, obviously with the roof and the parking lot as well has been coming down the road for a couple of years too. The painting projects, we don't know what's going to happen yet. Those are out in the future, but I know that Donna had spoken to me about seeing if we could roll those into the regular expense budget, which if that's how it has to go, then I can start looking into that. And it might just mean that we get the building painted a little more piecemeal than entire floors at once. But that's a plan that can work as well too.
Okay. Any questions on the capital budget for Kevin and where we are? Okay, on the expense budget then, we're still looking at the $301,000, Kevin?
Yeah, why don't I open it up and I'll share the screen with everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry I wasn't ready for that. Let's see. I'm just going to go into last month's packet here and open up the. Okay, so this is the budget, the expense budget that was approved at the November meeting, and yep, the total was for $301,351.75, and this includes the three additions that we had discussed. So that would be the opening on Sundays, a hourly rate increase for staff, and the third one was the increasing the custodial services to 5 days a week. So that's what this full number includes. Like I said in my in the director's report, I haven't really discussed this with Andy and Donna because they haven't officially asked for departmental budgets yet. So I think that will be coming soon, and they'll be due in January. But at that point, I know that we'll be having a discussion about what's feasible with the budget troubles that we're going to go through this year.
And this is Donna. I could jump in quickly and like Kevin is correct. We have not officially requested or given any direction to the department heads on the budget. But the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Finance met a while back, and the consensus that came out of those meetings was that we would be requesting a continuation budget, which means no new initiatives and pretty much moving forward with whatever increases or decreases there are existing programming the way it is today. I think with the budget that we have in front of us now, I think that the increase to the janitorial services is definitely something that should stay in there because of COVID. We need to provide a safe environment for our staff and our guests. So I think the custodial services should stay in there. We've been talking about that for a long time. But I do believe that the additional day would be considered an initiative. And especially now when the library's closed and we don't really know what next year is going to bring, I think that might be something we want to reconsider requesting, as well as the salary increases. We're looking for the cost of living increase, but I don't know if we really should be looking for much more than that at this point. But we'll be giving more specific direction soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Anything else for Kevin or Donna on the expense budget? Okay, on to new business. Nominating committee report. Gail, anything to report back to us besides trying to get those other folks to attend our meetings?
Gail, you may be muted if you're speaking.
Well, we'll
Hi.
go.
Now I might be unmuted.
Oh,
As I
good.
said before, I've been talking around town to all the people that I know, and I have two possibilities for the board, and I'm hoping that I can get them to at least attend in January to observe, because that's usually what folks want to do before they join a board. You want them to come and see what happens at a meeting. So cross your fingers, as I said before. We need members. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Gail. Term extensions. It's come to my attention that both Beth and Dale have been reappointed. That's great. Thank you very much. Look forward to continuing our work with you, ladies.
Likewise, thank you.
Strategic Planning Committee, we decided to table that this month. We won't.
Peter, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
When you say reappointed, is there a designated period that they're reappointed to?
Yes, there is. In the case of Dale, her term is going to run until December of 2024.
Okay,
And that is also true for Beth's term, December of 24.
okay, so it's 4 years reappointment.
Yeah, effectively, I guess it
Okay.
is. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anything else to come before the good of the meeting, of the group? Okay, hearing nothing then. Prior to adjourning, I would just like to wish everyone a safe, healthy, and happy holiday, however it works out this year for all of us. And thank you all for your work this past year.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Peter. Same.
Thank you for all your work.
Thank you, Peter.
My pleasure. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion
so
to
moved.
adjourn at 7:30.
I'll second.
Okay, moved and seconded. All those in favor?
I had a motion by
okay.
Gail, but I didn't
Aye.
seconded it.
Dale.
Gail and Dale, did you
Okay.
say Gail and Dale? Okay, thank you.
If you take the call a roll for the vote, please, Kevin.
Sure. Dale,
Aye.
MA,
Aye.
Beth,
Aye.
Gail,
Aye.
and Peter.
Aye. Okay, the ayes have it. The meeting is adjourned. Again, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Merry
Thank you.
Christmas and happy
Christmas. Good night.
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
holidays.
Good night.
Night.